The World Trade Center, both towers were hit by planes. In Washington, a terrorist alert because the Pentagon was hit by a plane and there's a fire on the Washington Mall. And the LA has a tactical alert where they are beginning to evacuate buildings. And then there is also another decision by the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. No planes are going to be allowed to take off from any airport in this entire country. No planes will be taking off today. They have made a decision to stop all air traffic control, all air traffic.
Marcia, we got to interrupt you. We just saw live from Chopper 2 yet another explosion. Did anybody, Janine, what did you see? You saw, was it an airplane or was it a...
It looked like a part of the building, if not most of the top, collapsed and all the debris from the building was falling down towards the ground.
Look at the smoke. Look at the smoke. This is
the whole building, did it collapse?
Do we have Jim Smith available on microphone from Chopper 2 as he takes these pictures? Jim?
Yes, I am here, Michael.
Jim, tell us what's happening out there.
Oh my
We just witnessed some kind of secondary follow-up explosion on the World Trade Center number 2, the one that is on the south, that is difficult to make out through the debris and smoke, but it does appear that the top portion of the building has collapsed down to the streets below.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable. We have seen here the debris and smoke just covering the entire portion of lower Manhattan.
Oh my gosh.
Jim, we know this is terribly difficult for everybody. We're asking that you please stay with us, hold your shot, stay with us on audio. We should tell people our crews have been running from that scene, as have everybody, and the entire area has been under an evacuation for some time. And just moments ago, you saw it here live from Chopper 2, a horrific scene as one of the towers there appears to have collapsed.
The FBI Special Operations Center is now in full alert. The FBI extremely concerned that there would be additional attacks. Normally when you have a situation like this, they immediately get on the line with the CIA, the various intelligence agencies, trying to get a sense of who might have been planning something. But right now, the first order of business is to protect against a second attack, third attack. The feeling is normally when you have this kind of situation, there will be more attacks almost immediately.
Let's go to the trade tower again, because, John, we now have what do we have? We don't...
It looks like a new plume, a new large plume of smoke.
Now, it may be that something fell off the building. It may be that something has fallen. We don't know, to be perfectly honest. But that is what you're looking at, is the current. That's the scene at this moment at the World Trade Center. Dan Daler from ABC's Good Morning America is down in the general vicinity. Dan, can you tell us what has just happened?
Yes, Peter, it's Don Daler down here. I'm 4 blocks north of the World Trade Center. The second building that was hit by the plane has just completely collapsed. The entire building has just collapsed, as if a demolition team set off. When you see the old demolitions of these old buildings, it folded down on itself, and it is not there anymore.
That should be it.
It has completely collapsed.
The whole side has collapsed?
The whole building has collapsed.
The whole building has collapsed?
The building has collapsed.
That's the southern tower you're talking about.
Exactly. The second building that we witnessed the airplane enter had been, the top half had been fully involved in flame. It just collapsed. There is panic on the streets. Thousands of people running up Church Street, which is what I'm looking out on, trying to get away. But the entire, at least as far as I can see, the top half of the building, at least half of it, I can't see below that, half of it just started with a gigantic rumble, folded in on itself, and collapsed in a huge plume of smoke and dust.
We're talking about massive casualties here at the moment, and we have... That is extraordinary.
Have you had a sense over the past hour, because from what I'm seeing, there's as much smoke as there was an hour ago, that they have not made much of a dent in this fire. I don't even know how much fire equipment they've been able to move up onto those upper floors.
It's just coming down, Pat. It is just coming down.
Watch the right
it's
side.
Exploding.
The building is ripping apart.
It is billowing. Pat, the debris is flying. I'm going to run.
Okay. All right. We hope that Kristen was not in a position where she would have been injured by that. But the tower is literally crumbling into the the streets of Manhattan there. And
Blocks and blocks.
I don't know how much debris is falling or where that debris has fallen, and we'll attempt to reestablish our contact with Kristen, but that tower's not there anymore.
We also ought to remind everyone, once again, the FAA has banned all takeoffs at all airports across America. This country, in terms of air travel, has been immobilized. A good portion of the nation's capital, the most powerful center in the world, has been immobilized as well as a result of these terrorist
And that's
attacks.
a very haunting description that Bob Kerr just gave of that low-flying aircraft near the White House, and one can only wonder if that was something that ultimately ended up in the Pentagon.
We just saw a live picture of what seemed to be a portion of the building falling away from the World Trade Center. If we can re-rack that to about 20 seconds ago, you'll see something dramatic happening, and I don't know whether it's another explosion or a portion of the building falling away, but something major just happened at that building. Here we go to the tape.
We have the tape.
And watch what happens in the left-hand tower. I don't know if this is the correct tape. There, something there is about to happen, falling away right there.
Yeah, it looks like a big chunk of it has just peeled away.
One can only hope that the area has been evacuated, but of course you wonder about all the emergency vehicles and the people who might have been injured early in the morning.
It's a corridor where a lot of Army offices are located.
Wow.
And some
Jamie,
people were...
Jamie, I need you to stop for a second. There has just been a huge explosion. We can see a billowing smoke rising, and I'll tell you that I can't see that second tower, but there was a cascade of sparks and fire, and now it looks almost like a mushroom cloud explosion, this huge billowing smoke in the second tower. This was the second of the two towers hit, and I cannot see behind that smoke, obviously, as you can either. The first tower in front has not changed, and we see this extraordinarily and frightening scene behind us of this second tower, now just encased in smoke. What is behind it, I cannot tell you. But just look at that. That is about as frightening a scene as you will ever see.
Hopefully it will not progress from here, but one never assumed that we would see what we're seeing now. So we have no idea really what might happen next.
And if we can aid those who are trying to get control of this situation, if you're at home and if you're watching this, if you can stay at home, please do.
We are, okay, you're looking at another explosion right here. This is another explosion.
Part of the tower coming down?
Part of the Twin Tower, obviously folding.
Coming crashing down. We're watching a live...
It is right...
We're watching a live picture of this. What?
It's live. You're looking at this live. You're looking at another explosion right in the same area. Oh, another explosion.
It's hard to
tell. Live picture right now. We don't know exactly what has exploded.
It looks like a building
part
collapse.
Of the building collapsed.
But it's unclear right now, Lynn, if that is the second tower.
No,
is that the second?
Both towers are standing. This is another building in the area.
It's unclear right now if both towers are standing right now because of the smoke.
The first tower has collapsed. That's what happened.
The first tower has
collapsed. There you have it. Unbelievable. Who would have ever thought we would have witnessed something like this? And the pictures speak for themselves.
Oh, you are looking at a live shot of downtown.
You are looking at devastation of downtown New York.